Here's another fantasy football draft review video. This is a fantasy draft I did last night. I had the fifth pick, and going to talk about this team where I had an Eagle stack, and I had another stack as well. So we'll get into all that. But first, please hit like and subscribe, comment below, and visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have fantasy football content, rankings, sleepers, busts, values. We have mock drafts, picks against the spread. We grade every signing, we grade every trade, and it's all free at walterfootball.com. So come check us out. So we're going to talk about this team here. This is an Eagle stack I drafted. So Saquon Barkley at 105, he has his injury concerns, but I still think he's going to have a great year. He could be like LaDainian Tomlinson from about 15, 20 years ago, where Tomlinson was just a great player. He was the top player all the time. I think, but Barkley's kind of being slept on here just because of his big workload last year. This doesn't mean that he's going to regress. The Eagles have a great roster. They have a great offensive line, so he can have another amazing year. And A.J. Brown came back to me at 208. He was just way too much of a steal there to not take him. And so ideally, I just wouldn't want to draft a running back or receiver from the same team, but especially in best ball, that I think it's a little bit better to do that than regular fantasy. Plus, these guys are always going to score a bunch of touchdowns. So I also drafted Jalen Hurts in the fourth round to complete the stack. I could have taken Devontae Smith in the fifth round as well. I just thought that was like a little too much. And plus, I love Calvin Ridley. Drafted Omarion Hampton as my RB2 in the third round. Najee Harris is dealing with an eye injury, and so Hampton looks like he's going to start right away, whereas before I thought Jim Harbaugh, old school coach, might go with the veteran. Now it looks like it's going to be Hampton. So Hampton is just a special talent, and the Chargers really improved their offensive line too, one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. So Hampton should have a big year. Roma Dunze, 608, feels like a steal. He's one of my better values. I just posted an article today, top values, and so I think that he's just going like around too late. He could be the receiver one in Chicago. TJ Hawkinson at 705. I got sniped. I wanted either Emeka Egbuka, who went 604, or Ricky Pearsall, who went one pick before me. I had Pearsall all queued up, and then this guy at the fourth spot took him. So I had to pivot. I like I like Josh Downs as well, but I thought that was too early for him, and I eventually got him at 808. So TJ Hawkinson, really good tight end. He's healthy now, 705. Then I took some high upside guys later. Jaden Higgins, 905. He has a lot of upside. Drake May, 10th round. He could have a huge year, especially his rushing ability. You have Cam Ward at 1305, Isaac Orendo at 1208. He could be a league winner if McCaffrey goes down. Quentin Johnson, you might be like, why him? He's having a great training camp. I thought I'd take a shot on him. Not like super high on him, but the other options in the 11th round weren't all that great. Then Algier, if Bijan goes down, he could definitely be a league winner. Dante Thornton, you should definitely get this guy in the 15th round. He's just a stellar player, and he's legit from all accounts. Charlie Campbell's sources, multiple sources at the Raiders told us that Dante Thornton is looking legit. I asked because he's running with the first team, so definitely try to get Thornton. Will Shipley, if Barkley goes down, I don't like having Barkley and Shipley on the same team, but I got sniped here. I was going to take Alec Pearson, so he was gone. Roshan Johnson as well. He's looking like he's having a great training camp. So these two guys I wanted, and they're both off the board. I didn't love anyone else, so I just like Shipley. Jarkus Hunter, Sean McVay loves him. I don't know if he's going to get all the touches this year, but he has upside. And Kyren Williams has a long injury history, so it could be Hunter if Williams goes down. And a couple tight ends here, and then Jalen Lane in the 20th round. I like his potential, especially McLaurin is traded. So. Let's look at these other teams. So team one, they had Chase, they had Brown, they took Burrow. So Bengal stack here. It makes sense that they would do that. And so this team doesn't look that bad until you get to like the 6th round. Chris Olave has such a long history with concussions. Stephon Diggs is a 31-year-old coming off torn ACL. I know he's looking good right now, but I don't trust him to stay healthy. He wasted a pick here with Javonte Williams. Marvin Mims is just a returner. Tua's going to get hurt. I don't like this first team. High side, the second team. He drafted Bijan to start. Lamar Jackson 302. I guess that's okay. Again, like these mid-round picks, I don't like. Jacoby Myers is no upside, so he's pretty bad for best ball. Montgomery, he's going to take a huge stock downgrade this year. With Jahmyr Gibbs getting more first-team reps and the offensive line looking worse, and Ben Johnson being gone. Too many landmines for me. Jordan Mason at 811. I know he's had some buzz lately, but seems a little too early to take Jordan Mason. Team 3. I hate Tyreek Hill. He's old. He relies on his speed. So those are the first receivers to go. Miami's offense looks terrible. What if Tua goes down? I'm not touching Tyreek Hill. Same with Jameson Williams. If all goes right in Detroit, Jameson Williams could have a big year. I just think that there was way too many landmines there. He took Laporta, and this is a horrible pick with Jared Goff. Actually, Cooper Kupp's even worse. Jared Goff, he took Josh Allen at 303. If you're going to take Josh Allen at 303, don't take Jared Goff at 703. Like, if there's some amazing value, sure, take the second quarterback. But like, Jared Goff's not amazing value. I've seen him go in the 10th round. Like, there's no reason to reach on Goff. I know he drafted Laporta and Williams and Gibbs. He wants to stack, but like, he probably could have gotten Goff at 8-10. And even if it didn't, like, he didn't reach. He wouldn't have reached on Goff. Like, I just think that's a huge misstep here. Team 4, the guy who sniped me a couple times. I imagine I'd like his team. Jefferson Irving's a great start. Daniels a 409 is a steal. Aaron Jones 609. I'm worried about him. Potentially splitting the touches with Jordan Mason. But then you have Pearsall, Scadabo's looking better in training camp. Stevenson seems like a wasted pick, but overall this team doesn't seem that bad. Team 6, they started with Lamb and McConkey, which is fine. McBride at 36 is a decent value. Rice, there is some potential there. Like, if he's only suspended 2 games, 4-7 looks pretty good. I like his running backs here: Hubbard, Johnson, Pacheco. Not so much Mixon because he's hurt, but the rest of his team looks pretty good. This is one of the better teams so far. Team 7, Neighbors. He had 4 receivers in the first 5 rounds. I don't like McMillan. I don't like Evans. Evans is old now. Neighbors and Wilson are fine. Wilson may be a little too early still, but like, Neighbors has great potential, but he's a little banged up with his toe, so I worried about that. Achane could have a fantastic year. There's a lot of boom bust there. Harvey, same thing, boom bust player. He took a couple quarterbacks here. Travis Kelce is a wasted pick. He's not going to do anything this year. He doesn't do anything in the regular season. So I really don't like Kelce, especially in the 8th round. I think, like, ideally like 11th round, 12th round for Kelce, but he's just going to get picked before that. The 8th team, McCaffrey, talk about boom bust. Like, he's probably the number 1 guy. I heard a stat from Fantasy Football Show that he missed 43% of his games since 2020. It's just insane. Then, he drafted a bunch of the receivers, this guy, like London, Harrison, Adams, Pickens, Addison, Reed. Like, probably don't need Reed at this point. It's your 6th receiver, and you only have 2 running backs. I prefer a running back here. You could have taken Tyron Tracy, for example, or one of the Giants running backs, or maybe Mason. It's a little too early for Mason, but really, Jaden Reed, like, what's he going to do for you as your 6th receiver? Like, maybe draft the quarterback here. I think maybe maybe probably one of the tight ends, actually, maybe Ingram, but it's still a rough spot here. So I can at least understand it. ATN's a waste. It's gonna be the Bigsby show, and then you had a decent draft. Like, overall, I don't have too much of an issue with this team. Just a couple of picks. The 9th team, Collins and Bowers. Not too crazy about that start. Houston has offensive line issues. Bowers going a little too early. Speaking of early, Henderson at 404. I love Henderson at like 601, which is where he usually goes. Like, Henderson at 404. Like, why? You could have taken him at 509. Like, there's no reason to reach for him like that. I do love Igbuka, but again, like, a little too early. At least, like, for where he goes. Now maybe you can make the case that he's not going to be there at 709, which I could buy. So it's not like I hate the pick. I love Igbuka. It just maybe a sticker shock to see him at 604. So the rest of the teams, it feels like Eckler is a wasted pick. Tillman, player on a bad offense. Michael Wilson, there's no reason to take Michael Wilson. There's no upside. So James Cook, at 309, a little too early. It's gonna be touchdown regression. Team 10, they started with 3 running backs, and then they went 3 receivers. Khalil Shakir has no upside. Don't take him, especially in best ball. McLaurin is very sketchy right now. You could argue that this could be a steal, but he's holding out, and we're getting into August soon, so a little worrying about that. Taylor seems a little too early too. Mayfield too early. I do like Tyler Warren, but Chris Godwin, one of the worst picks in this draft. I don't think he's going to play till like October or November, so I would avoid him at all costs. We have Team 11. They started with 4 receivers. Xavier Worthy, like why take Xavier Worthy here? I feel like that's kind of waste. Take a quarterback here at 402. James Conner's old. Concerns about him. Juwan Jennings, 6'2". He's a little banged up, but I don't mind the pick. Brian Robinson Jr. could be benched. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is looking pretty good. So I'd worry a little bit about him. Jerry Jeudy is a player in a bad offense, so I'm trying to avoid him. Mooney's banged up, so this team doesn't look good either. And then we get to Puka Nacua, Genti, and at the 12th spot. Not too bad. Puka Nacua at 112, you could argue, is a kind of a bargain, but Matthew Stafford's banged up with his back right now, so that's an issue. Genti at 201, a little too rich for my blood, but you see him going in the first round, so you could argue that this is a fine value. I just would prefer not to take Genti. I think he's being a little overdrafted. Speaking of drafted, Kamara 401 is a disaster. He could be shut down late in the year. He's old, and the team's going to suck. So I just will not draft him. Bottle, same thing. Like that offense is going to be very sketchy. Prescott 712 is way too early. Golden's at least having good training camp. So I like this Golden craft package he has here, but he didn't take Jordan Love, so he didn't really get to stack the Packers. Charbonnet is a fine pick there. Christian Kirk seems like a waste. Najee Harris, 13-12, you could argue maybe a value. I like Jaden Blue at least. So this guy did make some good picks, but let's cut some sketchy ones as well. So that's our review here. Please visit walserfootball.com. Like I said, tons of content, it's all free. Please hit like and subscribe. But we just crossed 5,000 subs, so really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. Can't say that enough. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with another video, and I'll talk to you then.